Good morning, and welcome to the Dray Way. We are just 9 days out. 9 days out until the election. Can you believe it? 9 days? 9 days and we're voting, and this is all over with. And I know some of you are like, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. But just 9 days is going to go by like that. But I think I owe it to you. I think I owe it to you to tell you right now, 9 days out, I need to tell you basically what no one else is telling you. You can go on the news. You can go on, whether it's Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. For the next 9 days, everyone's going to tell you, oh, it's so close. This election is so close. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because it just comes down to math. It comes down to math. It comes down to numbers. And the numbers are in. We've already seen what we need to see. We are having huge numbers of people show up and vote. And when huge numbers show up, there's just simply more Democrats than there is Republicans. Because Democrats have ideas for moving the country forward. Republicans have ideas of how to tear the government apart. The government's awful. The government's terrible. Oh, by the way, we want to run it. Isn't that their pitch? Right? The government can't do anything according to Republicans. It can do nothing. So if they believe the government can do nothing, why on earth would you vote for a Republican for any reason when they basically tell you with the words coming out of their mouth, they say it to your face. Oh, the government can't do anything. Government's useless. Government's worthless. Government blah, 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 blah. Why would you vote for them to run a government they say sucks? They're telling you it sucks. So why are you voting for the people telling you it's awful? That makes no sense. Because there's a blue party over here that says, we can help. We can help make this country better. We can help make your lives better. Yeah, that's the Democratic Party. And we have plans to do that. If you ever notice, Harris has been talking about her different plans for moving the country forward. You know what Donald Trump doesn't, or no Republican talks about? No, what Republican talks about a specific plan to make healthcare better, to make our infrastructure better, to make anything any better? What do they have besides, oh, we're going to cut taxes. We're going to cut taxes. In other words, we're going to cut taxes and drive up our national debt. That's all they do. That's all they do. I mean, Trump was president for just 4 years, and we have $8 trillion in debt because of him in just 4 years. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives when he was president. Yeah, because he didn't take a pandemic seriously. Because he dismantled the whole pandemic, system. He got rid of it when he got into the White House. He got rid of the damn thing. And then he crashes oil, and then he puts tariffs on farming products, and farmers across the country go bankrupt. Bankrupt. Over 100,000 lost their farms when he was president. So this is something that we're supposed to sign on for? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why I tell you, every time I hear someone say, well, I'm going to vote, for Trump, I'm like, why? Why would you vote for a Republican for the White House for any reason? Because in case you haven't been around, Republican presidents have been horrible, terrible. We've gone through this. I've talked about this. Nixon was so bad, he had to leave early. Yeah, he was so bad. Republicans and Democrats got together and went, yeah, this guy's a racist criminal. We got to get rid of him now. And he had to leave like right away. With 2 years left, he had to go. That's how bad he was. And then if that wasn't enough, we said, oh, well, yeah, that president was terrible. Let's put Reagan in. He has this whole trickle-down theory, which has crushed the average American over the last 40 years. Yeah, Ronald Reagan single-handedly crushed the American dream. Congratulations, Ronald Reagan. Not to mention that he was a criminal too. Yeah, if you ever want to see how many of his people were indicted, Take a look. You'll be shocked. But we didn't stop there. We didn't stop there, because we had a great president in Clinton. And then what did we go to? We went to a complete knucklehead. George Bush was a complete, total knucklehead. He didn't know his left hand from his right. Got us into a war for no reason. Thousands of people lost their lives and then crashed the economy like we've never seen. Yeah. So then we had to bring in a Democrat to fix it all again. We had to fix the whole thing again. So what do we do as a nation? We have a chance to continue the prosperity, but oh, no. We just can't seem to stand prosperity. So what do? We put a game show host. I wish I could be making this up. We put a game show host as president. And so what do you think happened? Total destruction. Yeah. The first couple of years, he coasted on what Obama did for 8 years. That wasn't his economy. He didn't do anything. That was Obama's. But his lack of doing anything about a pandemic ended up hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives, and he crashed the economy again and set up an oil system that, if you haven't seen the oil agreement, everybody goes, well, why do we have so much inflation when Biden got in office? Did you see the agreement that Trump signed on oil to keep oil production down so that oil prices went up and gas prices went up? Trump did that. And then you want to blame Biden? The very last thing we want to do is put a Republican in the White House, because they are really, really bad at the job. But welcome to the Dray Way. I am so happy you're here. I'm so happy that you're enjoying and watching the channel, and I'm reading every single comment. Please take time to make a comment. Let me know what you think. And by the way, if you're not a subscriber yet, what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, and welcome to the Dray Way. We have a lot more to talk about. All right. I know I got off on a tangent, so let me bring it back to what I originally wanted to talk about, what I originally wanted to tell you. And that is that she's going to be the next president because of the blue wall, because of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. There is nothing Donald Trump can do to win one of those three states. There's nothing he can do. He can't flip any of them because, first of all, Pennsylvania is going blue because she spent $100 million there. And she has a ground game like we've never seen in the history of elections. She has 45,000 people phone calling, knocking on doors, and making sure people get out to vote. She is making sure Pennsylvania by far sets the biggest record for votes they've ever set. And just so you clearly understand this, there are 330,000 more registered Democrats in Pennsylvania than Republicans. Let me say that again. There is over 300,000 more registered Democrats than Republicans in Pennsylvania. And they're showing up and they're showing out and they're turning out to vote. And because they're turning out to vote, there is nothing Donald Trump can do to change what's going to happen in Pennsylvania. And same thing with Michigan and Wisconsin. The ground game has just been spectacular. And then what about yesterday in Kalamazoo, Michigan? That speech is going to resonate. I think that's the type of speech that's going to go on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years until we get Roe versus Wade back, until we get a woman's bodily autonomy back. Michelle Obama absolutely nailed it. Michelle Obama looked right at you guys, looked right at you men. She looked right at you and said, don't you care about us? Don't you love us? Don't you love your mother, your daughter, your sister? Don't you love us? We're asking for your help. We're asking you to join us and help us bring back our own body autonomy. Let us do with our bodies what we want to do between us and our doctor. And for the love of God, keep the government that Republicans say is terrible, keep the government out of our decision between myself and my doctor. And Michelle Obama looked right at you guys and said, please come help us. So what's your answer going to be? That's what I want to know today. If you haven't seen the speech, watch the speech. You need to watch the speech. You need to see this. And I want to know what you're going to do as a guy. I'm not talking to the women right now. I'm talking to you guys. What are you going to do? Are you going to get in that voting booth? And are you going to vote to protect your mother, your daughter, your sister? What are you going to do? Let me know in the comments, because I think it was one of the most powerful speeches I've ever heard. Certainly the best speech we've heard on this election. Nobody speaks like she does. Nobody gets to the point like she does. She was spectacular. And you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to look it up and watch it if you haven't seen it. You really do. Because it's one of those special moments. It's one of those aha moments. And I want to know what you think. Please leave a comment. I really want to know what you think of the Michelle Obama. But we have more to talk about. Welcome to the Dray Way. 9 days out. 9 days out. I'm glad you're here. We still have more to talk about. Okay, I get it. I keep getting excited and talking about something else, and when I'm supposed to be focusing on the 3 states that I keep bragging about. But okay, let's just hone it down to what it is, because like I said before, you're not going to hear it on the mainstream media. Some of you are really nervous. Some of the women, I can understand you being nervous. I understand what's at stake. I hope I've reached some of the guys to make them understand how fearful women are and how it's our time as a man to step up. But I want to leave you with this. I want you to understand this. Harris is going to be the next president of the United States. There is nothing Donald Trump can do to change that. And that's because of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. She has done a spectacular job at the ground game in those states. Donald Trump doesn't even have a ground game. Donald Trump doesn't have the funds, doesn't have the ability, hasn't done anything remotely close to what Harris has done. And Harris has people on the ground, women and men on the ground, knocking on doors, calling on the phone, making arrangements to say, hey, how many can you fit in your car? I have 6 people that need to vote. They need a ride. And they're doing that up and down the street by street by street, to make sure that vote gets out there. Because people in Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, they understand how important they are and how important their vote is. Because those 3 states, before we talk about anything else, once those 3 states go blue, it's over. She's at 270. She's hit the number. So that's why you've seen her over and over and over again, hitting those 3 areas. And she's going to continue in the next 9 days. It's not going to stop. She's not going to stop until the buzzer, until the buzzer rings, until the last vote is cast. She's not going to stop. She's going to be in Pennsylvania. She's going to be in Wisconsin and Michigan over and over again over the next 9 days. Now, I know a lot of you really want her to do something in Florida and Texas. Florida and Texas are now in the hands of women and Latinos. Women and Latinos have the power. If they choose, they have the power to turn both those states blue. It's on them. They have the power to do it. All they have to do is have the will. But she has to do what she has to do to lock in her victory for sure. And I think she's done that. And that's why I want you to rest easy. She's got those 3 states. She's got the ground game going. She's got people turning out to vote. There's going to be record number of vote in Wisconsin, record number of vote in Michigan, record number of vote in Pennsylvania. And what has she always said? When we vote, we win. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for joining me for 9 days out. Thanks for making the Dray way, guys. I got to at the end of this, I got to thank you guys so much. The last few shows that I've done, you guys have turned up and turned out. I can't thank you enough. I'm having a lot of fun doing the Dray way. You guys have made this so enjoyable. I'm having so much fun, and I'm very happy that you're enjoying the Dray way. If you have any suggestions for the Dray way, I'm all ears. Put it down in the comments. And once again, I hope to see you tomorrow. We will be just 8 days out. And of course, every day is what? Every day is the Dray way. I'll see you tomorrow.